All right, so as many of you may know, school was recently canceled for Dakota and I for the rest of the year. And we looked at each other and said, no gyms, no school. What are we gonna do to be productive, get a good workout in?
Time to do a Murph.
Time to do a Murph. I was inspired on YouTube. I will drop the link in the description.
Sorry about the wind, by the way.
Yeah, and so we are gonna be doing 30 Murphs in 30 days. A Murph, I'll toss it up, is 1 mile run, 300 air squats, 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, and another mile run. So we're gonna check back in when we get the workout, but we're gonna start by running our mile. See you guys soon. All right, just finished our mile run. I feel like death. Dakota's fine. He's beginning our rounds, which are 15 squats, 10 push-ups, 5 pull-ups. We just do that 20 times. Run another mile. Here we go.
Let's go. Come on. There it is, baby. There he is.
Come on, baby. Just finished under an hour, 20 minutes.
Ugh. In one word, ugh. That was a lot more than I anticipated. Judging by this man's reaction, he can say the same.
What a good time.
Here we are, man.
Oh. All right, we're back. It's day 2. Dakota, how's the body feeling?
The body feels all right, not gonna lie, but the back specifically, I'll show you right through here, all the way. Yep. Right.
That whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Not feeling great.
Yeah.
Feeling great.
My chest is fine. My back is toast. Quads are feeling it.
Quads are feeling it this morning.
Hamstrings are
They were
feeling
fine
it.
yesterday, but I woke up this morning, went up and down the stairs, and I'm like, okay, here we are.
And here we are. It is 28 degrees here in Ohio, so we will be doing this one inside.
Yup. Come on. All right, Murph number 2 in the books. First mile was 6 minutes, 54 seconds. Whatever's in the middle. And then last mile was 8 minutes, 3 seconds. So finished with a time of 39:36. 8 minutes faster than yesterday. So just got to keep chipping away.
That was the end of day number 5. That was the least motivated I've been to do one, but they are getting easier. I got my time down to 56:39. Dakota's down to
34:15.
yeah.
So yeah, I woke up maybe 10 minutes before I did it, and I almost fell asleep on the treadmill for the first mile, and then kind of went back to my high school days, and O-line coach said find another gear, so I just went for it.
That's what it's about. They are becoming more routine. We're kind of getting into where we can just pump them out. The pull-ups felt a lot better today, but we're trucking through. We're now 1/6 of the way done, so we're getting there. Updates to come. I just finished day 13 here in Powell, Ohio. Ben Rensma ran with me. I set new records in both miles. I hit 7:08 and 8:47 for my 2 outdoor miles, and then did the whole thing in 46:58. Today was also my first day doing all wide grip pull-ups, which was really exciting. So making progress, not sore anymore, not as exhausted as before, just becoming a routine. All right, we've got day 16 in the books. Rensma was along for this one. Today was my second day of doing double sets, so 30 squats, 20 push-ups, 10 pull-ups. It was excruciatingly difficult, but we got down to 45 minutes, 36 seconds. So yeah, well on the way. This was the last Murph in Powell, Ohio. I'm now heading home finally after day 18. Today was my first day not improving. My calves are very, very worn out. Very sore while I'm running, so the mile times were suffering today. I posted something in the 44s, so a little bit off of yesterday's. We're gonna persevere, try to roll out those calves when I get home and see what we can make happen tomorrow. I'm back in Tuscola running these Murphs. Today is day 22, I believe. My elbow has tendonitis from the pull-ups, and my shins are both killing me from the running. So we are pushing through the pain, a lot of ice, a lot of ibuprofen, but we're gonna make something happen. Final day, just ran a 6:43 mile. I'm absolutely pumped. I feel like I've never run that hard in my life, probably never will again. We just finished the last Murph. I could not be happier. I literally feel like I looked death in the face. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So thank you to Dakota for keeping me motivated. Thank you to everybody who motivated me throughout this. And I'm very happy to be done. Okay, so here you can see a graph of our times that goes from my hour and 17 minutes all the way down to 33 and Dakota's 47 down to 27. You can see mine decline sharply at first, then incrementally for a while before I use the quote-unquote test days and rest days method, which we'll talk about. And then Dakota was kind of scattered and then with a huge drop down at the end.
All right, gang, I believe the last time I gave a recap was day 7 or 8. After that point, I really just hung out in the mid-30s when it came to my final time. Didn't really push myself super hard. I didn't want to like kill myself early on. I was really going for a crazy time, and then I realized that the workout itself is hard enough. So then I picked a couple spots to really push myself to see where I was at. But day 1, I got 47 minutes, and then day 30, I pushed myself to the absolute brink and had my sisters down in the basement for quality control on the reps, and then also as a emergency responder if need be. So I got 27 minutes on the last Murph, and taking off 20 minutes was something I was very proud of.
Yeah, and I ended up going from an hour and 17 minutes, 55 seconds down to 33 minutes and 40 seconds. So a huge improvement there, and that was very exciting. Okay, so the first thing we wanted to go over with you guys was tips in case you plan on ever doing this for 30 days. So there's really 4 of them. They're all about running, and they're all stuff that I experienced. So the first one is get a good pair of running shoes. If you don't have one, invest in them up front. I used a very bad too small pair of New Balances up until day like 18, and ended up being really, really injured from day 18 to 20. So definitely get running shoes. If you're not a runner like me, check your form before you're doing this. Making sure you're striking with the right place in your foot is huge, especially if you're running mile on mile. 3 would be course adjustments. Running in 3 different towns while I was doing this, I would get different, sort of mile tracks, and knowing like, hey, this tree or this neighborhood is where I tend to slow down, I need to push myself, or this stretch of sidewalk is where I tend to really pick up the pace or slow down, is really helpful and can help you run better miles if you're doing the same ones. And the last one would be protect your shins and calves. So with all of that running 60 miles in 30 days, they're gonna take a beating, and like somebody like me that doesn't run very often, I ended up, basically my calves were really, really tight for 2 or 3 days. And so I was trying to stretch and roll those out, even though I'd been static stretching them. Then once I got the calf stretched out, all the pain went to my shin. So I was taking 4 ibuprofen before I'd go run. There were 6 or 7 days where my mile times were just atrocious. So be careful, take ibuprofen, ice if you need to, and just don't be afraid to kind of take a few days off and let your body really breathe.
Yeah. All right, so about halfway through the 30-day process, I was like, okay, doing singles. I wasn't getting a crazy good workout, I guess. I wasn't feeling like it was a workout. I felt like I was just kind of going through the motions. So I decided to push myself and create like a double set in a way. So it would be 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups, and then 30 squats, opposed to just a normal one set. That really pushed you. I felt like I got a good pump after that, and that was something that I really liked incorporating every other day or something along those lines throughout the rest of the 30 days.
Yeah, and there was a case where I it was probably around day 15, 16, I was really struggling with them, and ended up doing doubles for 4 days in a row, just to try to make them feel easy. And by the time I got to that 5th day where I went back to doing singles, I flew through the singles using the same timing, which we'll talk about now. So Dakota and I did kind of different methods. I use an interval timer, which meant for my singles, it would go off. I started at 2 minutes an interval for 20 intervals, along with 3 breaks, and ended up shaving it to 50 seconds an interval. So that was how I attacked getting my times down. Same for doubles. I had the rest periods built in and then double set times. And so then between every day, I would go into the interval timer app, I'd shave off the amount of time I wanted to the next day. And that's how I was able to basically incrementally improve every day and know I was going to improve on the exercises. And the other nice thing about intervals is that you get rest. You basically get predetermined rest. So like for the first 5 sets, it's easy to burn yourself out, but that makes sure you space yourself out, which is really nice.
Absolutely. And going back to the doubles, it's crazy how doing a double one day and then like the next day is a single. The single feels almost like a treat, even though the Murph is a hard workout in itself. It was a way to kind of make it easier, more enjoyable, and really speeds up that process, I guess.
Yeah. And then one of the other things I'll touch on too is test days versus rest days. So for me, when I got down to it, dealing with the with the calf and the shin injury, I was trying to I would basically do a double. And so I would jog my miles at about a 9-minute or 10-minute rate, and then do the double set exercises in 45 minutes. So really pushing on that muscle fatigue, but letting your heart and your lower body breathe that day. And then doing that for a few days, and then going to a test day where then I'd basically sprint my miles, do my exercises, see how low I could get that time, and then jump back up to doing those doubles and saving my body. And that's how I approached about the last 10 days while I was at home. And that's how I was able to go from the 45 range down to the 33s, was just that test and rest methodology, basically. Yeah. So for this last part, we want to talk about a few final things, like some big picture stuff to keep in mind. For me, one of them is, what pre-workout do you want to take? I took a lot of just pure beta-alanine. We don't recommend drinking like Bangs or pre-workout drinks because you will throw them up. Yeah. It's been experienced by others, experienced by me a little bit. So keep the pre-workout to a minimum, especially because that first mile gets your heart rate up so high. I do not recommend taking caffeine before the workout. I did that probably the first 12 days. And if anything, it just gets your heart rate too high. It works against you. So try to avoid caffeine before doing it.
Yeah, and on the nutritional side, on top of that, I would really focus on getting like a lot of potassium, because during this workout you sweat a lot, and I was not anticipating that. Before that, I would just do strength training stuff and then cardio afterwards for maybe 20-30 minutes, but never like an intense 30 to 40 minute workout like we did every single day. And then after that, when you were in town, we did like a steam shower and hot tub afterwards. Yeah. And just getting all of like the sweat, all that crap out of you. But you need to focus on replenishing yourself, because the next day you're just so dehydrated and then you have no energy, and definitely something to think about.
Yeah. And then
one of the things I wanted to talk about too was, the progression with pull-ups.
Yeah.
So I actually started out only doing 50 pull-ups and doing 50 tricep dips, like on a bench, and then worked my way, and it only took five days to go from only being able to do 50 pull-ups to doing all 100, and it took me 5 more to go from doing chin-ups to all 100 wide grip pull-ups. So if you can't do pull-ups, don't let that scare you. Just work through them, battle through them, because you do get better. I'd say the improvement is pretty steep, but that's just a note if you are kind of mixing around with the pull-ups.
Yeah, and then on top of that, this is the pull-up versus chin-up. Something that I did later on, just to mix it up, I would do the first 5 as pull-ups and then chin-ups the next 5, and just repeat that until you get done with all your sets.
Yeah.
Just to kind of mix things up and like look forward to the next time you do a pull-up, I guess.
Yeah, and we would also do some with our thumbs facing us, and I found those to be the easiest. What did you think the easiest was?
I thought those were also the easiest, but I felt like my back was engaged the most, which is interesting.
I agree, it is interesting. So I definitely recommend, if you're getting a pull-up bar like we both did, having one where the handlebars come out towards you, and then having that option for the pull-up as well. One of the big things we want to talk about too was improvements. I'll throw up pictures on the screen right now. I felt like my body went through a great improvement during this time, just something I've never really experienced. I felt very big. That's something we talked to a few of our friends about, was like, well, do you feel like you're losing weight because of the running or gaining muscle because of the push-ups? And I'd say both. I think it cuts out that fat. You are burning a massive amount of calories, but you're doing muscle building exercises. So I feel like it's a really good thing for a body recomp. I would actually recommend it if you're cutting. I would definitely recommend doing a Murph.
Alrighty guys, thank you for watching. I know this was a great experience for the two of us, 30 days, just texting each other with our times and encouraging each other. If you do this, I recommend finding an accountability partner, a good guy like Mark. And yeah, feel free to share stuff down below, leave some comments. We'd love to hear your progress and tips or tricks that you guys have found that work for you.